Shalom, Israel. It's that time again. The I.S.U.P.K. under Commanding General Yahanna presents the Lord's 57th Annual Passover. That's right, the Lord's 57th Annual Passover, April 4th, 2026 in Houston, Texas. All Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans are commanded to observe the Lord's Passover. This will be the biggest Passover to date. You do not want to miss this. Fresh lamb, fresh wine, and bitter herbs as commanded by the Most High. Only $200 per person ages 17 and up. The biggest event of the year. There is only one Passover, and it's under Commanding General Yahanna. See you there, Israel. Shalom.
Nobody else there to compare to. Train for war, men of war, and warlike apparel. Prefer our leaders, can't get between us. Watch where you stepping. Cause us.
Wrong with you, boy? You know what time it is, nigga. Better watch how you step in. Yeah. But that was my niggas. A minute, yo. Got my nigga Rewan with me. But that was my niggas, it'll be an honor. You know what I'm saying? Under Commanding General Yahanna. Straight off the top, I love all of my niggas. That shit ain't gon' stop till we on top and we ballin', my nigga. We be fly as fuck, you know them bitches be stalking my niggas. That shit'll never change and it's the same with all my niggas. City to city, I should be at home, that's what my ribs say. But bitch, I'm grown, I'm in these streets and closed caption. Niggas know we bout that action. If a nigga play with me, then my Hakim gon' let him have it. Hey, make you the shit, this truth, this shit. Nigga play, I let that Ruger hit. Get on them tracks, they be like, who is this? I'm rude with it, ain't got no manners. All them pussy niggas talk the shit, yeah, I know they can't stand us, but we U.P.K, Louisiana, bitch, that's what I'm rippin'. And my niggas solid, number real ones in my section. If you wanna get down, put your boots on, start steppin'. Brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood I lay my life down right now for all my sisters and brothers, because I love them. I see them dapping and hug them. It's amazing to see how well we adapt from the struggle. Born again from a life of sin, trapping together. My mind frame was to kill my own kind. Feeling inferior, waking up ready to die. Run with them killers, so it's just a matter of time. For why take your life or let you take mine? That's when I realized the slaves killing slaves while the white man live to get old. We in them graves, the shit got me feeling played. I opened the Bible, went through them records, found out we was royalty, a nation to be respected. But in this world we rejected, we hated for our complexion. Still fighting to get accepted. We hear the truth and reject it, but love is getting corrected. And all my niggas correct me. The commandments, the foundation we erected. Brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. Hey, hey. Hey, hey.
You up?
Most High Christ. Let's go and clap it up. Damn right. All right, man. Shalom, Israel. We the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. We start at 1 West 125th Street out of Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yahanna. You understand? The leader that's over Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. We are not affiliated with no Christian organization. We're not affiliated with no fake Hebrew Israelite organization that believes that they have the truth. There is only one truth. You understand? There's only one man. There's only one organization that has that truth in the home of the truth, and that would be the I.S.U.P.K since 1969. All right, shalom, Yahweh Shem Yashabaka Thumb to all of the brothers that's tuning in. Shalom, Yahweh Shem Allah Thabah Shem Yahweh Shah to all of the sisters that's tuning in. All right, if you have any questions that's in the classroom, any questions that's online, any comments that's in the classroom, or any comments that's online, you want to go ahead and put your question or your comment into the chat box. Of course, in the room, just raise your hand if you got a question or comment. We're gonna do our best to address it. All right. Go ahead and click that like button. Let's get them likes up. Let's get them shares up. Make sure our phones is on mute, on silence at a very low volume as well. You understand? And we're gonna dive into this tonight. Is Monday night history class. You understand? We're gonna come in here and we break down this Bible. We break down our identity. We break down who it is that we are according to the Most High God, our power. That's what we do inside of here. All right. And tonight is Monday night history class, and we diving into tonight. So, like before I begin, we have any questions in the classroom, brother? You got any questions? Anything? No sweat. Any questions online by any chance? Nothing yet. Most High in Christ. Well, we're gonna go ahead and kick into our topic. Our topic tonight, we talking about our oppressor, the colonizer, being the absolute perfect devil, being the absolute perfect devil, and how it is that they got their kingdom, how it is that they got their power, how it is that they have rulership and supremacy across this earth. And you should know it's not because they outsmarted you. It is not because they are more powerful than you, or have better morals than you, or have a better work ethic than you. Our oppressor, the colonizer of this earth, the Westerner, this oppressor got his kingdom and his empire through bloodshed and violence, through a lack of morale. You understand? Through being racist against Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. Every piece of this oppressor, our Black leaders that have been put in place should have never joined us to this oppressor, should have never joined us to the confusion of their way of life and the white code of how it is that we should observe and live our lives. You understand? A life that is dictated by our oppressors is not much of a life, and every branch of government by our oppressors has been absolutely racist towards Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. Right. When you talk about any form of government or any form of military or any form of any programs, what you have to understand down to the court systems, down to the programs, down to the education and the school boards, every bit and piece of this empire is absolutely racist against Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. And we're going to dive into that tonight. I don't care if it's the judicial branch. I don't care if it's the executive branch, the legislative, the Congress, the Senate, the Supreme Court, the circuit court. Every single one of them have had an evil eye towards Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. You're going to find out today that the white man has been able to gain control by destroying Black people, by putting us underneath their knees, underneath the pressure of their supremacy and their racism. When you talk about the amount of court cases that was overlooked, when you talking about the police brutality, when you talking about highways and construction programs that ran through your neighborhoods to starve you out, when you talking about federal loans and federal grants that were granted towards white people so that you could not have generational wealth, so that you could have generational poverty, so that you could have generational oppression. These are the things that was handed down to us. In the North, the South, the left, the right, I hear Black people constantly talking about what it is that our oppressor, what side that we should be on. And you must understand that the entire system, I repeat, the entire system is tainted. It's never been for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. So now is the time that we decide that, you know what, we're not going to look towards the white man for our relief. We're not going to look towards their what we thought was meant for us. was not meant for us. Welfare was not meant for the black man or the black woman. Section 8 was not meant for the black man or the black woman. None of these things that we thought forgiveness programs and debt programs were for the black man. You got peonage laws that was passed that had that took advantage of our labor, right? You had the North and the South and the entire country that made sure that when the slave tried to run, they brought you right back in. The entire country and the entire nation participated in this thing. You had black men and Hispanic men and Native American Indians that participated and fought in your wars and lost their lives and made their families fatherless and gave up their bodies and gave up their lives for this nation and this country. And today they want to get rid of your remembrance. Today, what they want to make it seem like the struggle of the black man and the Hispanic man is not there. They want to make it seem like they did not hunt you down. They want to make it seem like they did not throw you in cages. They want to make it seem like they didn't put our babies and our sons behind cages. They want to make it seem like we are just making all of this up. We're going to dive into today a few things that absolutely expose the white man's hypocrisy, that absolutely exposes the white man's lies. That's what it is that we're going to do today. You understand? The topic of today is really showing that this oppressor is the perfect devil. And what is the devil? You understand, brother? You understand what the devil is, by any chance? Let me ask you. You understand what the devil is, by any chance? Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Suppressor. He's an oppressor.
We can't be mad at him for that at all. That's very true.
An oppressor of the children of Israel, of the black Spanish, the Native Indians.
That's number one for sure. That's number one for sure. But this colonizer, he is the oppressor of the entire earth. He oppresses the land, the sea, and the sky. He breaks the ozone layer. You understand? He causes what they call it, global warming. You understand? He is a master thief. He is a master mad scientist. You heard that term before, mad scientist? Well, that's the white man. The white man drills a hole in everything that he can find, including the behind of blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. He just wants to drill away at our lives. You understand? He wants to drill away at our rights, basic civil rights, basic, you understand, living conditions. That is the oppressor that has been over top of us. And the one thing that I could appreciate about the Most High that black people need to wake up and understand, the one thing that we should be able to appreciate about the Most High is he's allowed us. If you have a I don't want to use that word woke. If you have a mind that can see, as the Bible says, you got ears that can hear, you got eyes that can see. You see all of the examples that this oppressor has shown that show you that this is the devil.
Right.
I can't, you understand, really make that more clearer when we talk about the rap sheet of America. When we talk about the rap sheet of the French, when we talk about the rap sheet of the Dutch, when we talk about the rap sheet of the Russians and the Ukrainians and this and that and this and that, the list is astounding. So if you can't see by now, for real, if you can't see by now, I could imagine how irritated the Lord is when he has allowed us to see just how oppressive this colonizer is. Just how selfish and how greedy this colonizer is. He will take your babies away from you for his comfort. He will lock up your men for his comfort. He will accuse you of crimes you did not do for his comfort. He will terrorize and colonize the entire world and call you the gangster, call you the criminal, call you the thug for his comfort. He will sit here and say that you're the robbers and you're a stain on society. He'll send out the National Guard to clean up the streets of Washington, D.C. He'll check everything else around him and stick his pointy nose in everything but who the real terrorist is on this earth, which has always been our oppressor, which has always been the colonizer. He'll starve out his own people if it means letting you know that you ain't worth a damn, black man. If it means letting you know that I'm supreme more than you, he'll starve out his own people. That's what he'll do. You understand? Well, today you're going to find out that the white man, who we should have never trusted, give me in the book of Ecclesiasticus. You got an apocrypha, brother? We're going to get you an apocrypha, and I want you to turn over to the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 12 and verse 10. All right, just stand by for a second. We're going to get you together. For everybody online, we about to turn over to the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 12 and verse 10. That's what we about to do. All right. The Bible, this is the wisdom. You'll find it. Just let me understand. I'll get you to you in a second, right? The Bible, it's the Lord's wisdom. And there's nothing that can compare to it. There ain't no other book. There's no other religion. There's no other doctrine. There's no other way of life that could ever trump the Bible, the records of our people and our forefathers. You understand? This is the thing that we should have been bent our ear to. You have to come down and really bend your neck down to the wisdom that the Most High is trying to get us to understand. Men in this Bible have lost their life, teaching this truth by calling our oppressor the devil that the Bible speaks of, by standing on the business of the law, statutes, and commandments that is inside of these records. Men, real men, have lost their life and have fought for this truth. And it's fought for you to understand who you are and what is your identity in 2025 today, going into 2026. You understand? It would behoove you to get underneath the truth according to the Bible so that our people can be safe and can be separate from the judgment that's coming to this place. Please.
Kenny D says the Hispanic man isn't you. They have their own land and language. Central and South America is Spanish conquered by their forefathers.
Who is this? Kenny what?
Kenny G.
And can you just read it one more time?
The Hispanic man isn't you. They have their own land and language. Central and South America is Spanish conquered by their forefathers.
Okay. Well, Kenny, unfortunately, what you have to say will never change that the Hispanics are our brothers and our sisters. What you have to say will not ever remove. You might convince some uppity head Negro at your slavery that the Hispanics are not our brothers and sisters. You might convince them because they just don't know no better. But you barking up the wrong tree over here, brother. You barking up the wrong tree. Further, was not much of a bark. You typing. If you really wanted to bark, you would have, come to class. You would have been in all black like this brother right here. And you would have, decided to show face. That's what you would have did. Or I'll give you a second hand. That's the best one, but the second hand, I don't know if we got the call line up. We could have got the call line up. You could have called in. If that's what you wanted to do, Kenny. But just to address what it is that you said for time's sake, the Hispanics are most definitely our brothers and our sisters. And damn if you don't think so. You're just ignorant. You're just uneducated, Kenny. You say they have Central and South America. They have their own land. Yeah, the very same land that the oppressor infiltrated. The very same land that the oppressor placed their own leaders. We was just going over a couple Mondays ago. What was it? The coups. The coups or the say again? The coups. Where it is that America has a history of sending in their own government, their own undercover agencies to take over countries and to unrule their government and to uproot their government. America did that to many countries inside of South America. You understand? Nicaragua. They did that to many countries inside of South America. The same way that they divided and conquered the black neighborhoods. If you want to sit up here and try to sound like some revolutionary, you should understand who has been the people on this earth that has suffered by the same colonizer the way you have. Who has received, who has been constantly followed, who has been given another language, who has lost their children, who right now is being hunted the way your black behind was. I'm gonna assume Kenny's black. I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt, Kenny. I'm gonna assume you're a Negro, Kenny. And Kenny, you should understand that the same way that your forefathers was hunted by German shepherds, the same way that your forefathers would run up trees, Hispanics is running up trees right now. The hell are you talking about, Kenny? Please don't piss me off tonight. Kenny, you sitting here. Go ahead, Salagi.
Well, that if that doesn't,
I was gonna get at Kenny for a second.
You can get at Paul Bailey 8. He says, "You corrupted fools always cry. Man up."
I just gave Kenny the benefit of the doubt. I would not give you the benefit of the doubt, Paul. You more than likely are if you are a Negro. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna do you one worse. There's something that's worse than there's a white man. Is a Negro that got a white woman. You more than likely got a white woman up in there, Paul. You are Paul for sure. His name Paul, right? Hi, I'm Paul. I don't understand some of you Negroes that just want to ignore the truth. Like, we in 2025, your excuse for not knowing a damn thing is not going to pass anymore. That's not going to pass anymore. Your excuse for just, wanting to ignore the obvious and want to ignore that the Black struggle and the Hispanic struggle is just not existent. The Native American Indian struggle is just not existent. All right, no worries. We'll see. Surely you're revolutionary, Paul, that the entire nation of Black people should come follow. Surely. Yeah, whatever. Kenny was the one I was talking to. Please.
He says, Kenny
Mm-hmm.
says, "I respect your response."
I got more. I didn't finish my response, Kenny. Stay patient for a second. Can you read Kenny's comment one more time? Sure.
It says, "The Hispanic man isn't you. They have their own land and language. Central and South America is Spanish, conquered by their forefathers."
Yeah, Kenny, I appreciate the brother reading the comment again, because I didn't hear that the first time or two. Kenny, I don't know if you recognize or not, but the same way that we speak in English today, the Hispanics was forced to speak Spanish as well. That wasn't their language. The language of the Puerto Ricans, the language of the Mexicans, the language of the Hondurans, the language of the who else? The Brazilians, the language of the Peruvians, the language of the Bolivians, the language of give me some more. The Dominicans. That's not their language. That was forced on them. The same way English was forced on you, Kenny. That's not their language. You don't know much of your history, brother, and that is why you should get in class. You're failing at understanding very vital things that could make or bring us together or separate us. You're on a thin line right there. You're on a thin line right there. And before you open your mouth and just say whatever, you should learn the real history. You have a beef with Hispanics, and more than likely, it is just some nonsense, Kenny. You might have been in the street selling some drugs. You might have been getting high. And that's the only reason why Black people are against Hispanics. That you just believe that they just hate Negroes. That's it. You believe because they with their hombres and they with them and they with Carlos and they chilling on the block, that you honestly believe that they dislike you. Meanwhile, we share the very same oppressor. We are brothers and sisters. We are family. We are bloodline. That beef is as old as the Bible, brother. You better look into the split between the Northern Kingdom and the Southern Kingdom and start to really getting it. You don't have to look into it. You can just knock on the door and just listen. You ain't got to use your eyes for nothing. Just close your eyes and just come and listen to the real priests and prophets, and we'll break it down to you. The Hispanics are our brothers and our sisters.
Right.
They are our people. We share the very same royal blood. This Bible, the law, statutes, and commandments, God loves the Hispanics. The Most High, Christ, died as well for the Hispanics, died for the Mexicans, died for the Dominicans, died for the Puerto Ricans. That's what happened. You understand? That's not just for the so-called Negroes. You better understand the truth. Please, Officer McCord.
Paul Bailey responded. He says,
Paul, what are you even responding for? My bad. I'm Salaki. My bad. That's my drink talking.
I just got responded another one. He says, "I got an African woman.
I'm definitely
going to
take a drink
like
on
y'all.
Salaki.
Sick of seeing y'all on the streets yelling, giving me and my woman a headache."
So let me get this straight. I just want to focus on the woman headache problem. Like the plate that she put on her lip, that don't give her a headache. When she stretched that mug out, all right, like this. Everybody looking online, right? And she takes something like this. We ain't gonna do this with the holy incense, of course. Somehow your wife You're talking about not Kenny. This is Paul. Paul, what is your African name? Because you Africans love to change your name when y'all come over here. When your wife does this right here, it sticks this thing on her head and puts a plate in her mouth. And turns into the Avatar tribal warrior. Right, now keep the music going. It turns into the Avatar. I'm gonna go with it. It turns with the Avatar tribal warrior. When she puts, we got gold chalices, but when she puts a golden ring around her neck and stacks about 15 Sonic rings around her neck, she becomes Sonic the damn hedgehog. That don't give her a headache. That don't give her a headache when she puts Sonic hedgehog rings around her neck and puts a plate in her mouth. That don't give her a headache. The water. And the play is on. That's not what you're looking at right here. Everybody online. Let's look at Paul's wife. Everybody online. Let's look at Paul's wife. Paul, this your wife? Is this your wife, Paul? That none of that gives her a headache. When she puts her mouth below the behind of a cow and drinks the urine and the feces from a cow, none of that gives her a headache. I guess the I.S.U.P.K is strong, brother. I mean, whatever you are, Paul. I guess the U.P.K is strong. I guess so. Because if we are able to give you a headache and you're able to deal with all of that, you got guts. Nonetheless, enough of you, Paul. Paul, just sit and watch class. That's all you got to do. The Africans are going to come to your wife and her people will absolutely serve Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. That's what's going to happen. There's going to come a life where her children or her grandchildren or her people are going to serve us. That's what's going to happen, because you do understand that the Africans play their role in our slavery, in our captivity. That happened. You understand? That happened. You orchestrated that with the perfect devil. You orchestrated that with the white man. You orchestrated that with the Jewish man. You orchestrated that with the Arabs. You orchestrated our captivity all together. So all together, all of you are going to pay. Not by my hands. My hands ain't big enough. I wish they were. My hands ain't big enough, but by the Most High's hands.
Right.
That's what's going to happen. You understand? But enough of you, Paul. Brother, before I get into these flashcards, brother, give me Ecclesiastes 12 and 10. You holding on to some vital information right there that I believe that people need to understand. Give me Ecclesiastes 12 and 10. ASAP, brother. Nice and loud, nice and confident. You reading our holy records right there. Go ahead.
Ecclesiastes 12 and 10.
Go ahead.
Press thou not upon him.
Make sure, check it one more time. That's Ecclesiastes. Is it 12 and 10 or 10? No, it's 12 and 10.
Yeah, Ecclesiastes 12 and 10.
Let me check.
Press thou not upon him.
No sweat. Give me 2 seconds. Okay. Let me make sure I'm right. Just give me 2 seconds.
My bad, brother.
No sweat.
I was in 13.
No sweat. He was zealous.
Yeah.
He was in the next chapter.
Yeah.
You had me checking myself. I thought I had to get back in all black eye. No sweat. Give me Ecclesiastes 12 and 10.
Ecclesiastes 12 and 10.
Go ahead.
Okay. Never trust.
Stop right there. What's the first word?
Never.
Say it again.
Never.
Say it again.
Never.
Does it say sometimes?
Never.
Does it say when I feel like it?
Never.
Does I should give an exception to my people, to people I like?
Never.
This person, did a food drive.
Never.
They said welfare.
Never.
Section 8.
Never.
They said that, we should all come together in a Christian and a white Christian faith.
Never.
The Bible says what?
Never.
Go ahead.
Never trust thine enemy.
The Bible says, first of all, never trust your enemy. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, you got to understand who is your real enemy. Ain't no Negro come up with no law to oppress you. You worried about the wrong things. Ain't no Negro made sure that your children don't know the history of your forefathers. Ain't no Negro did that. Ain't no black man did that. No Hispanic man did that. No Native American Indian did that. There's an oppressor on this earth that made sure to break you, to buck break you, to make sure that you become the best slave that you can be so that you don't never rise up against the empire. Are you not familiar with these scriptures? Are you not familiar with it says that the crafty counsel that was done against us so that you wouldn't know who you are? It wasn't a black man who gave you a false identity. That was the white man that told you was African. That was the white man that told you that you wasn't the real Jews. That was the white man that gave you 5 different names and called you colored, called you monkeys, called you wetbacks, called you spicks, called you redskins. That was the white man that did that. The Bible gave us an identity, and that is the Israelites. That is the Jews. That is the real chosen people of the Most High God. That's who the people is that Christ died for. That's the title that we have. That's the birthright that we have. That's what Christ sacrificed his life for. When we talk about Christ being that ultimate sacrifice, when we talk about Christ being that lamb, listen, that was for blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. That wasn't for nobody else. So the Bible says to what? Never.
Never. Never trust thine enemies.
Never trust thine enemies. We got to understand. Hold on. Okay. We got to understand. The Most High ain't want all of us to be together. You got to understand who your enemy is. That's not another black man. It is these heathens. It is these colonizers. It is the Westerners. You understand? It is the great whore known as America. That's who your enemy is. Me and you beefing over nothing. Meanwhile, we neither one of us own the goddamn block. We beefing over nothing. We don't own this damn jail cell. We don't own general population. You understand? We don't own this, own that. We got to don't Esau be beefing in the military about the jawheads, and you don't own the military. You ain't got a military to call yours outside of this school right here, outside of the Lord's military. You operate on your own accord. Keep reading.
Ecclesiastes 12:10. Never trust thy enemy.
Right.
For like as an iron rusteth, so is his wickedness.
So like as iron rusteth,
so is his wickedness.
So is his wickedness. That's our oppressor that we deal with day in and day out.
Right.
As iron rusteth, so does his wickedness. His Supreme Court makes sure that you stay locked up in jail. They allowed the KKK and white mobs to go around black cities and black towns and terrorize black people. They allowed white people to flood cities and break down our cities. They allowed that. They allowed white people to get away with crimes committed on black people. They allowed that. Their court systems allowed lies inside of their judgment courts and inside of their chambers. They made deals to make sure that you stay behind bars that would break up your families. The white man absolutely knew what it would do when they removed you from the household, because you are the strength, black man. You're the one that brings the stability of that house. You're the one that allows that child to understand when to play and when not to play, when to have respect, what to say, what not to say, how to behave, how to conduct yourself. You're the one that understands that. And when they removed you from that house, your house became extremely weak. When they threw you in jail and offered your woman, what did they call it? In welfare. They call it in welfare if you wanted these benefits. That black man couldn't be in the house. That was inside of the documentation. This isn't just hearsay. This isn't just me and you conversing. This was literal words, black and white, that if there was a man that was in the house in a black household, that man, if you would be denied benefits if a man was in that house. So do you understand what that says on a further note? Everybody wants to say it, but do you know what that really means? That means I got to act like I'm not in my kid's life so that I can get these benefits. I got to act like I am not a father so I can get these kids benefits, so I can get these benefits. That's what that means. These white people don't understand what it's like to be in our shoes. These Asians and these Jewish and whatever the hell these people be wanting to talk about. Oh, well, my parents was this too. You would never trade shoes with a black man. You couldn't last. You couldn't last with the shoes of the Hispanics. You couldn't last with that. You understand that ice popping up at the graduations arc? Do you understand that ice is popping up while you're having the baby? Do you understand that ice is popping up? They're waiting outside of your court. You go to the courthouse to make sure your papers is good. Right outside of the courtroom, ICE is right up in there. ready to deport you. Don't give a damn about you crying. The other week, there was a brother having a seizure. Froze up. Daughter and the damn mother. And the mother. Trying to stop these agents, fighting for their life. For them to not take their husband and their father. What is wrong with you, black man? You don't got no empathy? Has the white man made us that cruel against one another? Did that not happen to us? Were we not stripped away from our families? Are you kidding me? How selfish and how cruel have we become underneath this white man? You understand now why God says that you must separate from this oppressor, because you become just like him. You become just like him. They showing up in hospitals and taking the father away, taking the mom away. And we got nerve to not understand their pain. They took a man away while he's in a seizure. His body is seized up and he's shaking. You understand? How the hell would you feel? I pray Christ come back real soon. Real soon. Oh, the water. I pray that Christ come back real soon. You see what you're seeing on the screen? That's exactly what's happening to our people. These are your brothers and your sisters. And it's supposed to hit you in your goddamn heart. It's supposed to make you feel something. If you don't feel nothing, you deep in the white man's understanding. You deep in there. You are deep in the white man's understanding. If you can sit here and watch this and see this, and you not rocking with the truth, what are you doing? What more proof do you need? Y'all hating that Donald Trump is in office. I love that Donald Trump is in office. I love that Donald Trump's in office. So that you can wake up and see the racism that white America has always had for you. Donald Trump, what is this, his second term? It's 5 years. He ain't even 5 years in. You understand how many years racism been around? These white Americans that love Donald Trump, you conspiracizing it for what? You know exactly how it is that they feel. They being asked questions. How you feel about this? How you feel about that? How you feel about this? Ask them if they want this right here to happen to their child. Ask them if they want to see their son with their grandbabies and their daughter-in-law getting snatched up in the vehicle in the middle of a parking lot to be embarrassed. You ask them if these judges want that to be their son having a seizure. You ask these prosecutors that want to hit you with charges from 20 years to life if they want that to be their son. You ask Donald Trump if he wants that to be his daughters. No. Because then Donald Trump wouldn't get a chance to sexualize his daughter at the age of 12 and 14 if ICE took his daughter away. No, Donald Trump wouldn't like it. Joe Biden wouldn't like if they locked up Connor, sniffed the goddamn dirty snot bubble cocaine in the White House. Joe Biden wouldn't like it if ICE was doing that to Connor Biden. He wouldn't like it. These oppressors is sick in the mind and it's sick in the head. And that's why the Bible tells us to never trust the oppressor. Never. They've shown us enough. Let's go down a few different things. We can hold that scripture for a second. You got the Fugitive Slave Acts. Brother, do you know about the Fugitive Slave Acts? Go ahead. Do you know about the Fugitive Slave Acts?
No, brother, no.
Do you understand that the Fugitive Slave Acts, that legalized the hunting of black people? Do you understand that? Yeah, that was legal. And not just legal for anybody. A lot of times, these so-called leaders don't go into the depths of what these things was. That's the Fugitive Slave Act. And what that allowed, it didn't matter if you was a damn teenager. If you was a white teenager You had the legal authority by the United States government to hunt down black people. You know what they call that today? The white man think he's slick. Brother, this is slick right here. The white man think they slick. You know what they call that today? A citizen arrest. That's what they call that today. They call it a citizen's arrest. Make it sound nice. Well, I'm a citizen. And you seem to be doing something wrong. So surely we must snatch your behind up and take you back. That's what they call a citizen arrest. That was the Fugitive Slave Act. Have you heard of the 3/5 compromise? That's when they decided to label a black man 3/5 of a human being. What that mean? That means you're not a real man. That means you're not a real man. That means you was not a human being. But you know why it matters so much to the North and the South when the 3/5 compromise was brought into talk? Well, the South, they had all these slaves, and they wanted to have a seat in the seat of power, in the seat of judgment, in the seat of lawmaking, and the seat of the executive and the legislative and the judicial. So they said, well, listen, man, we got to count these slaves over here. So I tell you what, we're going to count them as 3/5 of a human being. They're not real humans. They're not people. They slaves. They monkeys. They ain't nothing but laborers. They work for us. They ain't human. And what that did, though, they said that you wasn't human, but they made sure to take the power away from you in their politics. For them to be recognized inside of the United States government, they made sure that you existed then. But you didn't matter. When you won the presidential, the Republic was president for what? 30, 40, some plus years. 30 plus years that the Republic was president. And that was all based off of black people that was considered 3/5 of a human being. That was all based off of that because they have to go by the popular vote. They have to go by the population, the size of the state, who's in the state, how many, what's the size in this state right here. So now when I try to include that, it's an obvious win because there was a lot of slaves in the South. There was a lot of slaves in the South. Y'all have this misunderstanding that the North was against slavery. No, they weren't. They allowed the Fugitive Slave Act. If a slave that ran away from my plantation ended up on your property, they turned them in. Many of the North wanted black people to remain in slavery. That is a lie, and the white man is great at it. Have you heard of the slave codes? Have you heard of the black codes? Brother, you can get caught praying. All of that, bow your head. Father, listen to us now. If you was caught praying during the era of slave codes and black codes, you could get sent into prison. And prison legalized during the 3/5 compromise. It legalized that slavery, you can now be used as a slave if you was thrown into jail. If you was caught praying, if you was caught looking in the face of a white man or a white woman or a white child, if you was gathering with your brothers and sisters, if you was walking up and down the street with no purpose, you can get locked up. Vagrancy laws. You heard of that? Have you heard of vagrancy laws? Online, have you heard of vagrancy laws? If you was not working, you didn't have a job, you weren't employed by some white man, I could come and lock you up. In essence, do you know when that happened, brother? This is what a lot of people skip over when they talk about we was free from slavery and try to look at Abraham Lincoln as this, all-time great that just, freed us from slavery. Do you know the year that we was released from slavery? The very same day they came out with the black codes and the slave codes. The very same day. So they told you, all right, no worries. Why don't we just let them go, but don't teach them who they are? Don't tell them who they are. Don't tell them the truth or nothing. You didn't really get let go. The moment that you were so-called free from cattle chain slavery, laws was created to keep you underfoot, to keep you oppressed, to keep you in poverty. That happened. Christianity was already whipped into you. Now you believe in a white Jesus Christ. Now you believe in some savior that don't look like you. That happened during the Renaissance era. They took foot of that for hundreds of years. And today, our grandmothers hold up a white Jesus Christ and believe that a white man is going to save them. The very same white man that whipped the flesh off of our backs. Many of us sit in here and wonder what the hell we would do if you even dared to try that. You're going to have to kill us. You're going to have to kill us. Officer McQuash over here is willing to put every weight he has on you to make sure that you ain't going to do that to us. Not in front of my eyes. Not while my eyes can blink. Well, do you think you would ever touch one of my kids? That you think you would ever touch one of my brothers? That you would ever touch one of my sisters? That you would ever touch one of my mothers? That you would ever touch one of my fathers? We sit here and we think about that all the time. That's because it's a righteous spirit. The Bible says that the spirit of the prophets is subject unto the prophets. When you die and you come back and you feel yourself hating, when you feel yourself disapproved of this white man, oh, you might be one of us from back in the day. Maybe. If you get it all back and you come over here, you get your name and you get your officership, then we can confirm that a little bit more. A little bit more. But until that happens, it's just all talk. There's a lot of people who thought they were revolutionaries. It was a lot. Could you believe, brother? Let me ask you a question. Could you believe Malcolm X thought that he was better than I.S.U.P.K? Good answer. Good answer. He wasn't. He wasn't.
He sold out what he believed.
That's most of us, right?
He sold out what he believed.
That's most of us for sure. I gave you the Fugitive Slave Acts. I gave you the 3/5 Compromise. I gave you the slave codes and the black codes that made sure that we wasn't gathering together. You couldn't pray in public. You couldn't even testify against the white man. You couldn't during the slave codes and black codes. You could not testify against a white man. You could not have self-defense. If a white man knocked on your door and tried to knock you out, you could not say anything. That was black codes and slave codes, and you recognize that this was after slavery. So when black people try to say that you are not in slavery no more, according to what? According to what?
They just dressed up.
We brought out the vagrancy laws, right? It is just dressed up now. We brought out the peonage laws, which is forced labor through false debt. You know what these white people did, Officer Because? They say, you owe me money, but you didn't owe me money, Because. They say that you owe me money. You owe me some debt. And they lied. And for that, your children, your children, and your grandchildren worked on my plantation for free because you believed in this lie that I told you that you owe me debt. The white man is devious in all ways. Don't you understand why the Bible told us never trust your enemies? A black man don't lie to you like that. We tell you, man, I'm about to take your life because you messed with my uncle, because you took my man's life, because you was shooting at us. That black man to tell you. A white man would sit here and act like he is not guilty. That's in the Bible. Give me what scripture is that also required? Hold themselves not guilty. Zechariah 11:5. Zechariah 11:5.
Man.
No sweat. Get the certain them pages then. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. 11:05.
Zechariah 11:5. Whose possessor slay them and hold themselves not guilty.
Say it again.
Zechariah 11:5. Whoso possessors slay them.
Read it from the top.
Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not accountable.
Nope.
Not guilty.
That's right. The Bible says whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. Every time we have ended up in the white man's court system, and it has made it up to the Supreme Court, and it has made it up to the judgment officers where they can determine rather not if this thing was that. Do you understand that every time they ruled against us? Let me give you a few. I got some right here for you. Have you heard of the Dred Scott case? Have you, brother? That was the Supreme Court that openly said that a black man has no rights that a white man has to be bound to respect. The Supreme Court openly said that. You want me to say it again?
Yes,
no sweat. The Supreme Court openly said that a black man has no right a white man is bound to respect. The Supreme Court said that. Not me and you in the neighborhood. Not your little Roger that you went to school with. Not Clayton. Not little Sheldon. The Supreme Court. Adults. They said that white man don't gotta respect or be bound to any rights that a black man claims to have. Let me give you some more. Have you heard of Terry versus Ohio? Terry versus Ohio says this was the decision that legalized suspicion. Police officers have a suspicion. So when now I feel like you're suspicious just because you are black, just because you're 6 foot tall, just because it isn't just because of that. That was Terry versus Ohio, where that started at. Do you know what that's called behind closed terms? That was your stop and frisk. After that court case of Terry versus Ohio is when stop and frisk was created. That allowed me to now stop you because I'm suspicious. Because I'm suspicious. Just because I feel like you might be up to something. That's how Trayvon Martin lost his life, brother. Because I just felt like he was up to something. That bag of Skittles just looked dangerous. They look dangerous. The yellow Skittle, lemon. The purple Skittle, grape. The orange Skittle, orange. I gotta watch out for the Skittles. You had a hood on, and I felt like I'm about to lose my life. That was Terry versus Ohio that created the allowance of what police officers took as suspicion. Do your research. Have you heard of the Rodney King verdict? Do you know what that told police officers? Let me help you understand something about justice. When justice is not taken, there's a section of society that is watching you telling me, okay, this man smacks you for no reason and nothing happens to this man. What does that now tell me? That I can smack you with no issue, no trouble. Well, that was the Rodney King incident. Can you guess how many officers was found guilty in the Rodney King incident? In the Rodney King verdict? Was found guilty?
Oh, no.
I'm about to say, brother, you modest. Yeah. How many was found guilty?
I don't think none of them were found guilty.
None of them were found guilty. Do you know what that translated over to other officers in the future?
They can do what they did.
If I can beat the heck out of you on camera and be found laughing, the officers that beat Rodney King were laughing during the incident. And do you know what they said? First of all, do you know that the government, the United States government, moved the trial to a white neighborhood? They moved it to a white neighborhood. And the jury was white people who sympathized with police officers. And none of the officers were found guilty. None. Zero. Of the Rodney King incident. The verdict, none of the officers was found guilty. That happened. So now you're trying to sit here and wonder and conspiracize, why in the hell do we constantly get ignored justice? That is the culture of America. That is the history of America. This is not something that should be ignored. What that Rodney King verdict did was allow white America to understand it's okay to beat the crap out of black people, because who's going to do anything about it? Please.
Just like the way you were saying, you know, if people see the results of something, you know what I'm saying, and they can get away with it,
Yep.
they want to continue to do it. You know, like
Wow.
a few years ago, there was like a rash of Asians beating up black women in nail salons. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't just one little minor incident. It was like a rash of them. And just like when you're saying with the Rodney King verdict, you know what I'm saying? There was right during that time, there was this young sister named Letitia Harlins. They got murked in one of them Korean stores.
Yep.
This Korean woman was found guilty, but her punishment was 6 months of probation. That was what the judge said. Hey, you done enough. You know what I'm saying? You've done enough time. You've served enough punishment. So I'm just going to give you 6 months of probation. That let everybody else know that you can kill a nigga and ain't nothing going to happen. The worst that's going to happen to you is going to get probation. Fast forward to what happened, you know, the rash of Asian women beating on black women, locking them in and throwing acetone in their face and whatnot. Nothing happened to them.
Yeah. The water. That's once again, that's the history that's to be brought out. They get probation. Fine. Brother, you get 10, 20, 30 years to life. That's what you get. You know what that's called? That's called, that's once again leads me right into the topic. That's called mandatory minimums. Have you heard of that before? Have you heard of mandatory minimums? The judge, they say, lost judicial power. Yeah. Because if you did something to me, you know, I have the right to say I want to press charges. You've heard that before, right? The lawyer that I get, I'm telling him what charges I want to press. And within he or she's expertise, they're going to tell me what charges I can get off with. When it was made by federal law, mandatory minimums, that was a federal law, right? That was a federal law. So now if I was caught stealing, I was this the time. If I was burglary, this the time. Whatever, right? So now me and a white man can make the same crime, right? We're on the same page. The prosecutor didn't bring the same charges that the white robber did as the charges that the black robber did. So when you want to understand the what do they call it? When you want to understand this, for lack of a better term, the difference. When you want to understand the generational gap, when you want to understand the unfairness within the court system and how it is that they locked up black people, prosecutors came up and they charged you with charges that was mandatory minimums. So when you see that a black man gets a charge that is 20, 30, 40 years to life, and a white man for the same crime, I might have did the same crime as you, but the prosecutor is not charging me the same way he charged you, even though we committed the same crime. So now I get probation, and as a white man, and you you get 30 years to life. I think 30 is to life. I think life is like 36 years, 30 something to life or something like that. 25 to life. And I just get probation or something. I got to pay a fine or something. That's what they did. Let's get some more. Have you heard of, please, go ahead.
So is that why Esau send their children to school to rule over the generation of black children, blacks today?
Give me some more. You say what? Is
like,
that why white people send their children to school? Black people send their children to school.
Well, I'm saying to law school, because that's a very expensive school to go to.
Okay.
You know, to maintain rulership over the generation of children that probably was with them, the racing.
Absolutely, for sure. Absolutely. White people don't recognize in today's society. They don't even recognize just what they already in the mix of, right? White people, they don't have no choice but to be racist. They don't have no choice but to be cruel. They don't recognize it. They think that it's building up that next lawyer in the family. That's what they think. Not recognizing that the system that you're building up that little white boy to be a part of to prosecute people is a system that's built on oppressing black people. Is a system that's built on oppressing Hispanics and Native American Indians in North, Central, and South America. They don't recognize that. The average white man and white woman today, don't block me, YouTube or Facebook, but I'm gonna say it clear as day. The average white woman and white man today is dumb. They're dumb. They don't even know how racist they are. They don't know they're dumb. They have no idea what they're doing. They just think, well, I'm just raising my child to be a doctor. What's the problem? Don't you all have the opportunity to be a doctor? You don't even recognize the head start that you have. That is a lot of the stuff to be going into. We talking about the Fugitive Slave Act. We talking about court systems. We talking about qualified immunity. We talking about what else? We talking about the massacres. We talking about black victims. We talking about so much that is taking place that has built the empire of America that was absolutely ignored. That was absolutely ignored, like as if it just never happened, man. But these things absolutely happen. You participated in locking up black people. You participated in that. You participated in convict leasing. Do you know what convict leasing is, brother? Convict leasing is a time frame that happens today. That today, right now, black people is locked up and sent into prisons. And you were sold off. You have to, the roads and the pavements and everything that you are building on. That's a contract that owns those things. That's a white contract that owns those things. You can thank your 95, your Route 1, your 495, your I-66. Give me some more because you travel and you know I don't.
10.
The 10, go ahead. I-66, I said that one. 495, 95, southbound, all that. 495, Route 1, 395, 295, Washington Boulevard, this, that. 50, good night. I'm missing it because I don't know which. You understand? The water, 234, all the way up Manassas, Virginia. Yep, I'm familiar. Yeah. All the way up Manassas, Virginia, man. These oppressors done been everywhere colonizing this earth. And you dirty bastards want us to believe that you are the ones that we should follow. You want me to believe that you got the right, that you got the way, that you want me to believe that you better than black people. You want me to believe that you got the blueprint to fix us. Whole time you've been the one that's been destroying us. Whole time you've been the one that making me think that a black man, I see, if I didn't know I.S.U.P.K because of the Bible, if I didn't know I.S.U.P.K, I didn't know this young brother right here because of the Bible, that I would think that y'all is my enemy. That I think y'all trying to rob me. That I think y'all trying to steal from me. When my entire life and before I was born, it was the white man that is stolen from us. It is the white man that has kept us from our education. It is the white man that has kept us from our knowledge. It is the white man that kept me from knowing who I am. It is the white man that lied on my identity. You never lied to me about my identity. You might think that I'm African and I'm not. You might think that I'm Muslim and I'm supposed to follow Allah and I'm not. But before all that nonsense got in your head, it was a white man that got it in your head. It wasn't a white man that got it inside of our head. It was a white man that got it inside of our head. You think that it was a black man that started all of this nonsense about who it is that we should follow and what God that we should follow? Before all of that happened, it was black men that was telling you that our God, it was Yahweh. It was a black man that was telling you that our king was Christ. It was a black man that was telling you that our kings and our prophets were men like Moses and men like Ezekiel, men like General Hyman, men like Commander Yahanna, men like Officer Bakwasha, men like Captain Mashak, men like Captain Zazariak, men like Captain Ta'awul, men like Captain Mawakar, men that actually stood on and stood for this Bible and stood for these records. We have life that is inside of these records that these oppressors have tried to make sure that we never, ever, ever understood. And they did it by making you believe that you are a slave. And the one thing that I said before that I can appreciate that the Most High did is through being under this captivity, you can see the white man being the devil. What makes him the perfect devil? He's going to lie to you about who you are. That's what devil means. Deceiver. Most High Christ, get a brother hand. That's right. Don't be talking all that talk out. You better stay in class now. I'm just saying all this. You better stay out in class. That's all I'm gonna say. Right? You understand? Brothers get to feeling themselves a little bit when they get to answer the question. I'm a little different. It's like I'm a little, you know what I'm saying? All right.
Gotta be proven, bro.
No sweat. Well, we're gonna see. We're gonna make sure these brothers in is proven for sure. The same way Christ and the rest of these priests and prophets will do for sure. But now is the time that we come back to this truth. You can't sit here and believe in the white man's lies no more. They made sure to try to get rid of you. Go over in the Bible and take me to Psalms 83. Take me to Psalms 83 when it talks about the crafty counsel. We got so much to get into. Have y'all heard of McCleskey? Am I saying that right? McCleskey versus Kemp in 1987. No sweat. This is one of the most evil Supreme Court decisions in United States history. Warren McCleskey lawyers presented a mountain's worth of statistical evidence exposing the racism in the system. The Supreme Court response. The Supreme Court, listen to this, black people. The Supreme Court themselves, this was their response. Yes, the system is racist. This is word for word from the Supreme Court in 1987. They said, yes, the system is racist. The Supreme Court says this. But statistics alone do not prove intentional discrimination. And then they said, fixing all the racial bias in the justice system would have too great of a societal cost. They acknowledged that racism was within their law system. They acknowledged it. The Supreme Court. They said that it is racist, but it's going to cause too much trouble if we address it. And you want me to vote? There isn't enough ballot stickers for me to wipe my behind with. There isn't enough. I thought the Quran would be enough. There isn't enough American ballots. That's enough. We got to wake up and understand the truth. Right? They say, but statistics alone don't prove intentional discrimination. So what the hell is supposed to prove it, Officer McQuash? What is supposed to prove that you against me? I show you that you murdering me. I show you that you letting other people murder me. I show you that you letting other people get away with being violent against me and I ain't do nothing. These are the statistics. And you say, well, those statistics ain't enough. What I'm supposed to show you then? A broken leg, a broken arm? I'm supposed to show you that I got beheaded. I'm supposed to show you the noose that got blood on the rope for me. That's what I'm supposed to do. That's this oppressor, man. The oppressor didn't deny racism. They protected it. They acknowledged that the court system is racist. The Supreme Court did that in the 1980s. They said that the system is racist. They said that. They went on to tell you that it doesn't. We understand that it's racist, but ain't nothing much we can do about that. Ain't nothing much we can do about that. Right? The Federal Housing Act. Lord knows I wanted to hop in on that. The Federal Housing Act. Brother, generational wealth. You understand that highways was built through our neighborhoods that would allow white people to have direct access to downtown, have direct access to their jobs. Meanwhile, what did that do? White suburbs that receive government funding, they want to talk about, oh, black people is lazy this and black people lazy this. Let me help you understand this, white people and black people that's online. There's no more lazy person on this earth than the white man.
That's right.
There's not a lazier person on this earth than the goddamn white man. There's not a more effortless people on this earth than the goddamn white man. There's not a more stupid or dumber person on this earth or nation on this earth than the goddamn white man. There's not a more untalentless, you have no flavor person on this earth than the goddamn white man. There is not one. There is not one. You want to sit here and you want to come at black people and talk about anybody being lazy when we are the gears of your society. We come up with your stoplights. We come up with it is your cell phone devices. We come up with your internet. We come up with your security devices. We come up with everything that you could possibly imagine. We are the people that you used in your wars. We are the ones that was that. What was it? The Navajo? What was the code talkers or something? The code talkers. You wouldn't have won your wars without us. Please, I knew I had something. He's a historical bunk. Go ahead, please.
Once upon a time, well, during World War II, there was something called the Enigma. That was the Germans' most powerful code that no one could actually break.
The Enigma,
but it got broken. The Enigma got broken by some white people. I think it was a homosexual from Poland.
Wow.
They got actually, the signet right here. They got that from this dude who broke the Enigma. You know what I'm saying? He took his own life because he couldn't practice what he couldn't practice the alternative lifestyle. But that's not what I'm talking about. Okay, but the Enigma got broken. But the Navajo code talkers, their code never got broken.
Bad marks.
And one of the reasons why the U.S. won that war is because of our Native American brothers and sisters, that no one can they try to breed the Indian out of the Indian, you know what I'm saying? By bringing them into residential schools and cutting their hair and forcing them to speak the white man's language, calling
them all mulattoes and whatnot,
calling them all sorts of things other than what they really were. But they were tough and they held on to their culture, their language, and that's one of the reasons why America won that war is because of those codes. But the white man's Enigma got broken. They couldn't break it. Nope. But even their most supreme armies, the most supreme forces, their thing got broken. But the Native American Indians, they couldn't break it. We don't understand. Just this place cannot exist without us. The supremacy that this place has, it can't exist without us. We got to expose the white man, brothers and sisters. We got to expose the white man. We have to expose the son of perdition. We have to expose who is the evil on this earth, who is the devil on this earth, who carries that spirit. We got to expose who is the lie on this earth that has led you to believe that Christianity is your way of living, that has led you to believe that you are not God's chosen people, that has led you to believe that you don't deserve justice and that this is how life is supposed to be. You know damn well that you wake up every day that this is not how life was to be. You know damn well every day that you wake up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, go to some damn slavery.
You know damn well this is not the life that you want. Don't you know that you want more time with your son? Lie to me and say you don't. Lie to me and say you don't want more time with your daughter. Lie to me and say you don't want more time with your wife or your wives. Salah. Lie to me and say, you know I had to throw that in there. Lie to me and say that you don't want more time with your husbands. Lie. Lie to me and say that you wouldn't love to stay home with your people. That you wouldn't want to link up with your brothers. Lie to me about it. You know damn well you would not spend your time in America's military, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. You know damn well you would not want to get deployed if it means that you can stay for the first couple of months of your baby. When I was first born, my mother got sent to Korea for 2 years. 2 years she couldn't be with me when I was first born. That happened. My mother got sent to Korea. You think the white man gives a damn about you and your family? They never have. And they never will. And you think that I'm going to sit here and vote for them? You think that I'm going to sit here and rely on an empire that is crumbling from the inside? The white man is self-destructive, Ak. They want to be homosexual to prove themselves. They want to be drug addicts to prove themselves. When they allowed you to sell drugs, they took the money that you brought them back and they released and they saved who they wanted to save. That's what they did while you was going to have generational disadvantage because your mother or your father was stuck on drugs because of the white man. They want you to believe that you're the predator. There's not a bigger predator on this earth than the goddamn white man. These social media behind platforms want to sit here and try to censorize the I.S.U.P.K. For what? Why? Why don't you want the truth to get out? Why don't you want us to talk about the Italians? Why don't you want us to talk about the Russian mobs and the Italian mobs? Why don't you want us to talk about Al, what is his name? Al what? Al Capone. Why you don't want us to talk about Al Capone? Why? Why you don't want us to talk about all your Italian mob bosses that ran the ports? Why don't you want us to acknowledge that you're the real drug dealer? Why don't you want us to acknowledge that you're the real thugs, that you're the real criminals, that you took over neighborhoods, you took over ports, you was terrorists inside of this country? What did black people do to deserve the treatment that you give us? You want to ignore our history. You would never tell a Jewish man that he can't remember the goddamn Holocaust. You would never tell a white American that they could not remember the 9/11. You could not. You wouldn't do that. But you want to tell black people that slavery was in the past. We was bent over again, whipped, flesh coming off your body, your children, while they buck breaking you and making sure that you were never going to be a man. While they raping you in front of your woman, while they are raping you in front of your woman, taking your manhood in front of the community, in front of your people. But you want to sit here and act like the things that have happened to black people just never happened. The things that happen to Hispanics and Native American Indians just never happened. You a foul monster. You got Thanksgiving that's coming up. And you want to sit here and feed black people this old bull crap behind religion that allow us to sit together and hold hands and, oh, I'm thankful for this and thankful for that. The white man is the most cruel thing that's ever existed on this earth. Right. The white man is the most cruel thing that has ever existed on this earth. The evil is hotter than the sun and the stars. The evil is hotter than the suns and the stars. They're wicked. They're cancer on this earth. When you wanted to be free black men that did nothing, they hunted you down. You think they gave a damn about understanding what the breeding plantations was like? Made you out of sport. Try to figure out who was the strongest, who was the weakest. You think they give a damn about none of that? Let me help you understand this. There's so much more that we got, but I want you to understand this. When you have to figure out, and somebody want to ask you, why the Bible? Why the Bible? Why the Bible? Why the I.S.U.P.K? Why are you sitting here to class today? The Bible is the only thing that guarantees black people and Hispanics and Native American Indians justice.
Right.
It's the only thing that guarantees it. And brother, I want justice. Oh, I want justice. Somebody got to pay for black people and Hispanics and Native American Indian babies and women that had their stomachs cut open, their babies torn out of them, experiments ran on them, was sterilized to not have no more children, was thrown in prison cages to never see their family again. You don't get no visitation rights. You're going to serve 25 to life. You ain't going to never be with your family. You ain't going to never be able to be a role model. You ain't going to never be able to be nothing. You ain't going to be nothing but SHIT. You ain't going to be a deadbeat father. You ain't going to be nothing but a destroyed people. I want justice. I want nothing more than justice. We deserve it. We deserve it, Akim. That one brother, I know you know also Bakwash off the top of your head. That brother that took the spear through the other brother that stood for the enemy. Who was that again? The brother that took the spear. That brother right there, for time's sake, that brother right there. So it's a brother that was as foolish as hell, wanted to stand up for the heathens. And the brother in his righteousness was just like, man, what? And took the life of the woman and the man, put a spear through them both. You know how much strength you got to have to put a spear through two people, clearly, and it's sticking the ground? Brother, you got to be strong. That Debo ain't got a chance. That brother was strong. That is where we come from. Stop trying to disapprove the Bible, you dumb. I think I know behind Christians. Stop trying to disapprove the Bible. It's real niggas in the Bible. It's real hardcore men in the Bible. It's real warriors that's inside the Bible that really had strength, that really had rebellion, that really had revolutionary blood in them. That's inside of the Bible, man. What we got? Phineas, the water. I couldn't think of the name for nothing. Phineas. We just wasn't going for that. And we got to return to our righteousness, man. We got to return to that. The day that I can look at your children and your children as my own, and you look at my children as your own, we on top. The day that I can treat you how I want to be treated, brother, we on top. That's the kingdom I have. These oppressors, man, the white man, they are the perfect devil. They lied to you about who they are. They perfected who they are as a devil. They lied to you about your identity. They took your culture away from you. They wanted to erase you off this earth. They threw you into jail. They gave you Planned Parenthood. They tried to get the woman to get rid of you. They tried to break up your marriages. They tried to break up your families. They done tried every goddamn thing. They done tried to make you homosexual. They done tried to make you a drug dealer. They done tried to make you a drug addict. The white man has tried to do everything to eliminate the black man and the black woman. They've tried to do everything to eliminate us. But the Most High is with us. The Most High has chose us. We are God's chosen people. We're going to run this earth whether you like it or not. We're going to run this earth whether you like it or not, white man and white woman. You will be listening to a Negro. Straight up. You will be listening to a brother that you threw on the reservations. He will run your society. Them ICE agents that's thrown away the Hispanics, them very same Hispanics is going to run all of this. We, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, we teach the truth according to the Bible. We don't care about lying to black people at all. We don't care about that. We don't get paid off of that. This thing right here is to introduce to you the real knowledge according to the Bible. We don't have any interest in lying to you. We make no money off of lying to you. We want to tell you the truth, give you strength in this oppression and in this poverty that will bring back our king, our Lord, the Most High, is going to send back Christ to bring us salvation, to make sure that we are relieved from underneath this oppressor. That is the job that we up in here to do. If you Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indian, you need to make sure you get in class. You need to make sure that you show up. You need to make sure that you keep these traditions and rehearse the righteous acts, like the Bible says. Rehearse the righteous acts of the priests and the prophets, man. This is our culture, and ain't nothing else better. This is what's going to allow us to get out of this captivity. This is what's going to bring us justice that we have starved for hundreds and thousands of years. With that, I'm going to go ahead and pass the class over to priest and officer, the mighty man himself, Officer Bakwashi. That's it.
Security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yahanna. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes to the school, they're off limits for 6 months. They're to be saluted only. They're here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which a brother or sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, you can find this in Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3:8-10, means 10th in Hebrew. It's pronounced ma'ashra. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you get to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming holy convocation is the Feast of Dedication, which is called Hanukkah. This is the 25th day of the 9th month by the space of 8 days, which is Sunday, the 14th of December, 2025, for 8 days. You can find it in the first Maccabees 4, and then 4 and 52 through 61. All right. Also, Passover, upcoming, the Lord's 57th annual Passover will be in Houston, Texas. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be in Houston, Texas, April 4th. That whole week, we're going to have some events leading up to it as well. Check online and check with your camp leader for all the upcoming details and everything. I believe the hotel where it's going to be staying at is posted. If you don't know where to go, check with your camp leader. Also, the fee for it is $200 for everybody 17 years of age and older. You know what I'm saying? It's $200. It's going to get you into everything that we have for the Passover. You know what I'm saying? Pay your Passover fee. Get your arrangements in order. Even though it's in April and we're in November, April will be here tomorrow. April will be here tomorrow. So get your travel arrangements in order. Get get everything in order so that you can observe the Lord's 57th annual Passover in Houston, Texas.
That's right.
Remind Akim Nakwathim to check on social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for I.S.U.P.K events and materials. Brother wants to be a trooper in the school. You start wearing all black, which includes black boots, black shirts, black pants, black headbands, and scarf. And with that, I say Amajim, which means to stand. We're going to give one courtesy salute to the teacher. Men of Israel, Ahmad Shabbat, Imajim, Barak, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Brakatah.
Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Brakatah.
Yajamatah. Class dismissed.
Shalom, Israel. It's that time again. The I.S.U.P.K under Commanding General Yahanna presents the Lord's 57th annual Passover. That's right, the Lord's 57th annual Passover, April 4th, 2026 in Houston, Texas. All Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans are commanded to observe the Lord's Passover. This will be the biggest Passover to date. You do not want to miss this. Fresh lamb, fresh wine, and bitter herbs as commanded by the Most High. Only $200 per person ages 17 and up. The biggest event of the year. There is only one Passover, and it's under Commanding General Yahanna. See you there, Israel. Shalom.
Nobody else there to compare to. Train for war, men of war, and warlike apparel. Prefer our leaders, can't get between us. Watch where you stepping.